Okay, today we will be painting these little Christmas tags, and the paper I use will be this very reasonably priced Prime Art watercolor paper. It is not smooth watercolor paper. It is, I would say, it's not as rough as the cold press or rough watercolor papers, but it's not as smooth as the Art hot press watercolor paper. That is adequate for this, what we want to do for this watercolor tutorial. I'm going to outline this little tag, and I've uploaded this for you on Patreon to download under this tutorial for free. So if you want to paint along, you can just trace it or cut it out and then trace it. And so this will be the one that we will be painting, and then this will be another one that we will be painting. So I'm going to keep them all very close together like this. So that we don't waste paper, because we're going to have to make quite a few of these. And I hope my daughters are going to paint some with me very soon. There you go. And like I said, I will upload these for you on Patreon to download for free. I'm just going to draw it in here. So I'm going to do half of the page, half of the tag, not the page. Make sure you have a very soft pencil that you can use. I'm going to draw in that bottom little thing, bottom little tag to there, and then you want to go up to the top there. And on this side, you also want to go right to the bottom there. Keep your little lines very light. And then you want a stem or a tree trunk. And I'm just going to do it like that. Where's my eraser? I actually have everything downstairs at the moment. And I'm going to cut this out. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to get my colors, and then we're going to paint a little Christmas tree in there. So I made sure that my hands are clean and they're washed, and going to use those little bowls, those little two little plates, and I'm going to mix all the color. So I'm going to go crazy with all the reds that I have. I've ordered some more red, but let's see how this turned out. I might have drawn that a little bit skew, but that's okay. We'll fix it at a later stage. So this is Viridian green. Why would I use Viridian green? I don't like this. I want a different green. Okay. This is my beautiful paint box, and very rustic little paint box that I have. So I have a beautiful green in here. Let me just turn it this way. No, let me turn it this way so you can see. I have this green, which is a very nice green. Let me show you. Take some of my water. I'll use some of these little papers. This is a real Christmas green color. Look at that. Oh, let me just pick some some more up. If I can show you on the, it's a real Christmassy green. So it's this color that I have on the paper here, on the swatch chart. And I'm going to mix a little bit of that. This is a beautiful green, perfect for these little tags. And I'm not going to use this, it's too big for my table. I went quite a lot, so I use an old brush just to pick up some of the pigment. And this is the little holder that we were using. And there you go. And that should be enough. If not, we can always just mix a bit more. Okay, so now my water is green. And you do not want to mix your red with your green. So I'm going to quickly just rinse my water. So this is a box. Oops, I just missed water. It's from Winsor & Newton. My husband bought it for me when I started painting in watercolor as a gift. And I never used, all the little tubes were in here with some brushes. So I never used this box. I took the tubes out and I popped them in one of my little paint boxes. And then my husband took little pieces of wood, the exact size of these little pans. And it's very difficult to get out because I asked him to make it exactly to fit in these. You can always fill these up again. It's very hard to get out, but if you use something sharp, you will get them out. But then I don't know if you can see that. Let me lift it out. So these are for more little pans if you want to add it in, obviously smaller pans, and another row for some of these full pans. But these are the pans that I added in here, and all the colors that I need. And this was actually my original first watercolor set that I've ever bought with pans in, and I've used them all in here. You can see all the colors that I use the most. They are nearly finished. And then I also had a little plate that fit in here perfectly. I bought it from, I think, House and Home or something, and it fits in here perfectly. So this is a lovely little box where I keep all my paints. So if we travel, I can just take this with some of my other palettes that I have. So there's always, I also keep a little pencil in here with the eraser. And obviously my brushes I keep separately, but they might fit in here, but I don't want to ruin them. So yes, I keep them all separately. But this is the color that we will be using, the green. And then there's also a beautiful red. So I'm going to just take this palette. Let me just get the water again. What did I do with water? It's here. And I'm going to use, this is Madder. So let me just see where we are. I'm going to use this as cadmium red. Wow, look at that beautiful bright red. I've also ordered some red from someone that makes her own pigments, and I ordered some gold from another person that also creates her own pigments as well. So all handmade pigments, and this should be enough. If I need more, I will just get more. But this is the other color that I will be using. Beautiful Christmassy reds. There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to put this down. I'm going to leave it open so that these can dry, and then I'll close them. You always want your paint in your pans to dry before you pack it away. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush. This is a glass of dirty water that I have here on the table. Not dirty water, it's full of pigment. But you don't want to use your glass with clean water to rinse the first rinse where it's dirty like this. Okay. I think Okay, so now for that one, I am going to, this was a practice little tag that I painted, and I'm going to now paint one on this side as well. So I'm going to create a little template for this little tree as well for us. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you how I quickly painted this little tree. This is just so that you know, you can paint it even without this, but it just makes it easier if you want to. Obviously my painting is still wet, so I just want to be careful, and this will be a very narrow little Christmas tree because I wanted to fit onto this tag, our little tags here. And this is just if you want to be a little bit more precise, but you don't have to be precise. And then I'm just going to go in there and there. In fact, a little bit more of a natural tree will be nicer, but anyway, so that will be the little hole that you will create with whatever you want. So I prefer maybe something sharp, round, like a knitting needle or something, and then you just make sure that you clean the edges. Or you can use one of those scrapbooking eyelet makers, I think that's what you call them, that you can use as well. That will be perfect for that. So that one's going to dry, and I think this little Christmas tree is so cute, and I might go back later and add a little bit more of the little green, the green sections, because you can see the square is shining through. But for now we'll stick with this, and then the next one will just be very loose watercolors, like just want to create like a little tree. Outline is there. This is just for me because you can rub it out later. So you want to basically, let's start from the bottom here. So you just want to create those little markings again, and if you start from this side, you go on the other side, and then from this side. So you just do these little, doesn't have to be perfect. And then another way is just going like this if you want. So these are just little ideas. It might be nicer for you to just use this one if it's easier to paint. You basically want it to look like a little tree. So because I painted this one in the, I'm just going to go over this with this like this, because I already painted one with the tip of my brush. And then that one there, and then I'm going to go on this side. So you just go along and create those little, let it sort of flick out to the sides, more up. And this one too. You want it to look like a Christmas tree. And want to leave a few highlights in your tree as well. Don't want it to be too perfect. Okay, there, and that one, there you go. And then over that tip there you go. Beautiful little Christmas tree. Okay, and for this one I'm going to use another little paint. I take a little bit of the green, I take a drop of the red, and maybe a little bit more red, a little bit more green, a little bit more green, until we get this very sepia brown color. And that's why I said we leave them separately like this, especially if you're very messy and you're, you know, like I'm going to be very messy with this painting. And I'm going to just go down here don't worry if it flows into there, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to just create a little bit of a little bit of, I don't know, sand or the ground underneath there. And this is your little Christmas tree. And then later on we'll just go with the brush. Once it's a little bit dry, you'll see my paint is still a bit wet. It won't create all of those markings, but you can go back later and just create a bit more detail on there. And that is the second little tag that we've done now. So I'm going to show you how I created this one. I'm just going to draw another one here because I just tested it. But if you think that your tree needs a little bit more detail in there, so just go with your brush and just flick it around just like this, just to darken it up a bit, because remember, watercolor always dries much lighter. And there you go. And what the other thing you can do is you can first paint your whole little Christmas card or the whole tag. I want to leave it white because I want it to look like there's white snow in the background and then the trees are here. But you can paint your tags, for instance, completely red and leave it to dry the whole day, and then come back the next day and paint your little trees on there. So that way you can have a little background if you don't want a white paper or watercolor background. So for this, I'm going to leave this to dry completely. I'm going to tear this out. I'm going to make sure it dries completely before I use this section, because we're not wasting paper. We are going to use every little bit of paper. And I am going to add a little bit more detail on these little parts as well, but this will be cut out tomorrow once it's completely dry, and I will show you how I make these holes. Let me just get my set. I have a set. Take my shoes off. It's so lovely and warm today. This is the set. It's called Making Memories. It's a very, very old set. I think it's nearly 15 years old. And with this, you get a little mat. You also get, this is a eyelet maker. So you can put it onto the hole like that. Obviously, you put this on your mat. I'm actually going to show you. It's going to be very noisy, but I'm going to do it so long as you can see. You're going to make sure, let me just move my paper away from here. You're going to make sure that you have this underneath this part where you're going to make the hole. I'm going to make my hole a little bit bigger than from what I've drawn it in. And I'm going to put this on. Very noisy. Okay. And then you are going to have a little hole like this. Perfect little hole for a string or a ribbon. And I'm going to do the next one. So let's do the next one a little bit smaller. So if you want to make a smaller hole, they have different sizes in here. And this one I bought from a scrapbooking shop. So I know there are quite a few scrapbooking shops in South Africa. I'm not sure where you can find them anywhere in the world. I'm going to put this on there because that's the same size. And I'm going to hit it. Again, a perfect little hole, so you can push a little bit of a ribbon through there, or you can put a tag, like a string, through there to create your little tag. So as you can see, this is still a bit wet, so I'm going to leave it to dry. And this is the little Christmas tags that we painted. For now, I'm going to paint quite a few more. It is very, very lovely. I don't know if you can still find them, but it's called Making Memories, so you can just look and see if you can find any of them. That you can also add in the little eyelets, the copper ones that you get. You can also find them at scrapbooking shops. And then you hit it in with this little thing here, this little part, so it makes a beautiful gold eyelet hole. And then all these little cutters and a hammer and a tiny little ruler, which I'm going to use for the next tag. So let me put this away. What you can do is also use some of your, now I'm not sure if it will be too light, so if you do have gouache watercolors, it will be perfect for some snow. I've seen a lot of artists use some of the gouache to create snowy bits on their trees, or you can use masking fluid to just mask out some of the little white parts of your on top of your tree, then it looks like snow. And we will practice that as well. But for this, I'm going to now cut this out because it's dry. So let's see. Try my best to go straight and fast. Okay, I'm gonna go straight up. And this one. And this is very fun, a very fun project. You can do it with your children. My children's definitely going to do that with me. They have no choice. And you can go a little bit rounded on the ends here. You can even go a little bit square. You can go straight, not square. You know what I mean. You can cut a round tip, or you can go totally square corners. And that's it. And there as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the back green. But I'll do that tomorrow, because now I want to get some of my string that I had here. Just want to see if I have it here. Do we have string? Yeah, yes, we do. So I have some of this string, and I'm going to just push it through. Of course, you can use a needle, but I'm just going to do this quickly like this. You can use white, you can use red ribbon, you can use gold, you can use anything that you want to use for your little tag. I'm just going to pull it through because I want to make it tight here to tie it like that. And then I'm going to cut a piece here. And I'm going to tie it again. There you go. Oopsie. There you go. And you can cut that off. And there's your little Christmas tag. Perfect. So what you can do is now you can paint in a little bit of those little red balls if you want. Just make sure that you use a brush with a nice firmer tip than the one that I used here. So I'm going to use my brush that I ordered from, I think that brush is downstairs. No, it's not. It's my red dot, my pointed red dot brush from Rosemary & Co. And my water is red, so I'm going to use this. Not my water is green, this is red. I'm going to use some of this that I have here, and just going to create beautiful round little dots. Hopefully we won't mess it up. Okay, maybe a little bit more watery because I want it to look like watercolor and not necessarily they're all gonna hang on here. Our little tag that we made today. And like I said, maybe you can use some cotton, some thinner wool, what do you call this, wool, some ribbon. You can use maybe some thinner ribbon, and you can definitely use other colors as well. And once this is dry, I'm going to flip it over and paint the back of my card as well. But for now, I'm going to let this dry completely, and we're going to paint a few more of these tags. So these ones, this will be the exact one that I will upload on Patreon, and it will be under the video. It will be for free, and you can also get the line drawing for this tag, and then you can print it and you can cut them out and trace them on watercolor paper. So this is not expensive watercolor paper, this is just normal watercolor paper, so you can use any watercolor paper for this. And then you can just write your name on the back. There. So that's it, our little tag that we made so far. We're going to make a few more. How cute is that?